Our compelling question is, how would speed bumps affect the safety in the school parking lot?
Our action involved an interview with Mr. Jensen.
Okay, so I'm Alexis and she's Wendy, and we're just going to talk to you about our Civics Project. We have two other group members, Jacob Mendoza and Matthew Blackney, but they're currently busy. But I'm a driver, so I notice this every morning, and then sometimes
I walk to school from home.
Yeah, and we're very worried about like our parking lot because sometimes I get cut off in the mornings due to like parents wanting to go to work or needing to get home. So it's a concern to us. And then the other two guys, they're drivers as well. So we realized that we need to have more safety in the parking lot. So do you want to explain?
And also, not mainly, we're focusing mainly on like traffic.
That as well.
Because sometimes it's like everyone's in a hurry, right?
Mm-hmm.
So our plan is to add cones. So the people who walk to school can be like safer and cars won't bump into them or anything. The people who are walking.
Yeah, and you're talking about the entrance gate nearest the tennis courts.
Yeah.
Yes.
Off of Cerritos.
Right.
Yeah, I don't like that area either. And the easiest access for you as a pedestrian is to cut across the lot.
Right.
Versus walk all the way down the tennis courts and then do kind of a right angle towards the school.
Right.
It's not as efficient, and you don't always have time. Just recently, I met with a district representative from maintenance, and we are going to put speed bumps in.
Where exactly?
They're going to be, and I'll just use as a marker, on the tennis court side where you would enter.
Yeah.
And then as you drive around, kind of like that U shape by the gymnasium on that side, and then as you exit. So that whole U shape, as you circle through that you're supposed to, will have speed bumps, which should help decrease speed and reckless driving dramatically. And they'll be spaced out enough that you would literally have to abuse your car to go over them. So, and especially on that tennis court side where they're coming in and everybody's in a hurry to get in and get out. But then it's going to go all the way around speed bumps. There won't be any on the aisles, where you pull into park, because that's not as big an issue. And as long as we feel, and there'll be kind of more of an expert come out and tell us exactly where to put them. The issues aren't so much in the parking aisles; it's on the outside.
Yeah. So like
the
this
entrance
morning,
and exit.
Every day in the morning, I sit like by the benches where the parking lot is right here.
Mm-hmm.
And this morning, there was a guy in a BMW who, you know how you have to turn, like where the loading zone is, right, exactly. So he was turning, and then he kind of like drifts into the aisle.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say that's a concern as well, because a lot of parents also like to, they like to go in from this entrance right here, that's at the stop sign right here, to exit. Some parents like to enter there, and they like to go straight in where it strictly says to not go straight.
No, and
well.
to be very frank, I don't know how you legislate ignorance or people that are just, they don't care.
Yeah.
Because they're in a hurry and it doesn't matter about the safety of it. If everybody's cooperative, we wouldn't need speed bumps, we wouldn't need that. But you're right, they disregard, no matter what we do, they're going to disregard it.
Yeah.
So, but I think with the speed bumps, that'll be a huge help, and it'll just slow the whole pace of the parking lot. But you're right, short of having an officer sitting out there, which isn't going to happen, it's like we have the automatic gates on the staff lots, right?
Yeah.
You've seen those?
Yeah, I've seen those.
Well, parents drive in there all the time to drop off, which it's gated for a reason. The flip side of that, though, is it helps alleviate some of the traffic in the student side. So that's part of me says, you know what, in the end, that's probably helps us.
So, there's also sometimes I do notice that people race, like they just speed down the aisles. What is your concern about that?
It's not as big as on the exterior where they pull in, but that's easier to address because it's less, and that's just more of a supervision issue, I think, because that's mainly going to be two students. but we don't see as much of dropping off, cutting through to drop off, you know what I mean, and then racing out of there. So that is not that's more of a case by case. And I don't remember off the top of my head why they said that they wouldn't put the speed bumps in the aisles, which you're referring to.
Okay. Do you have any more questions on
No,
your
I
part?
didn't.
Okay. I think I had maybe one more question. Have you had any complaints from parents or other students about the parking lot?
Oh yeah,
Yes.
about the very same thing you're saying.
Yeah.
People that just disregard laws
Yes.
and just basic driving etiquette, and that's hard to address. As far as when we see it, we try to, but it's easier said than done.
What would you say is like the most complaint out of it all? Like
Just
from
a
parking lot?
disregard for rules as far as
Yeah.
speed and
So the traffic.
or how they go against flow and just park wherever to get
Yeah.
rid of their student or students and just disregard the whole flow of the lot and or the speed.
Okay. All right. So is that all?
By when is the speed bumps? When is
I'm
that
supposed to hear this
soon?
week, but soon, within the month. He was even
okay.
talking maybe over the break, which would be perfect for us, from a logistics standpoint. But soon, because it's really not that hard, for the
it's
companies
just-
to do it. But soon, I was pleasantly surprised how quickly they say it's going to happen.
Yeah.
So let's see where we're at when we get
So-
back from break.
Were you the one to start this like speed bump thing?
Well, it started last year. We put it in because I oversee buildings and grounds
Yeah.
as well. And it's one of those things, it's when they get to it, they get to it, because after I submit it, it's out of my control. We've asked, and then they showed up. So, and then the district prioritizes these projects.
Okay.
How do you get to school?
I drive to school.
Do you think the school parking lot is safe?
Well, up until recently, I thought that it was safe because I had never had any problems there. But I think it was last Valentine's Day, February 14th. A bunch of people had their car batteries stolen out of their car. So I'm not sure. I'm not so sure anymore.
What can the school do to make it safer?
I'll be quite honest with you. I'm always out of class, walking around and going wherever I please. And getting into that parking lot is too easy, really. I mean, there's hardly ever a security guard there. There's no locks during the daytime. I mean, except for the outside locks, I guess. But if you really want to, you can make it over that fence. I've seen students do it before.
Do you think there's a lot of traffic in the student parking lot?
Oh yeah, sometimes it'll take me 10 minutes just to get out of the parking lot. It's insane.
Okay, thank you. How do you get to school?
I drive.
Do you think the school parking lot is safe?
Not when everybody's getting here or everybody's leaving. It's really crazy.
What can the school do to make it safe?
I think they need to figure out a way to have one way in and one way out, and a way to keep the kids from walking in front of cars.
Do you think there's a lot of traffic in the parking lot?
In the morning and then right after school, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Alright, go.
How do you get to school?
My parents.
And what do your parents do? Do they drive you to school?
Transportation,
Of
yes.
course.
Do you think the school parking lot is safe?
No, I do not.
And explain why.
All these reckless teenage drivers do not know how to drive that good. Looks like their license was handed to them from a cereal box.
And when you're coming into school and leaving school, how do you feel? Explain just all the traffic and how everything's navigated.
From the school parking lot?
Yes.
Oh, it's terrible.
How do you get to school?
I walk to school.
Do you think the school parking lot is safe?
No,
Why not?
because cars rush into school and rush out of the parking lot.
What can the school do to make it safer?
Have people out there to control traffic and stuff.
Do you think there's a lot of traffic in the school parking lot?
Yeah, a ton, especially in the mornings.
Mr. Jensen is thinking about adding speed bumps into our school to make sure that nobody's speeding in our parking lots and to make our parking lots safer. What is your opinion on this topic?
I feel like this one way make the problem worse, because I feel like our issue isn't speeding or reckless driving. I feel like it's the indirect traffic that we have, like the way we make turns and how there's not really any direction the drivers get or any rule at all, and that's what really causes the traffic and the dangerousness.
Do you think the school parking lot is safe?
No.
Explain why.
Too many, a lot of people speeding through, even parents. So,
what can the school do to make it safe?
we probably need more signs out here and more speed bumps.
Do you think there's a lot of traffic in the parking lot?
Yes, there is. There's a lot. So like I said, we just need, like the other question is that we just need more signs and more bumps in there and better routes through the parking lot.